All right, I'm going to do a quick little ballistics gelatin test for you here today. I'm going to compare these Remington CBees against these CCI quiet segmented 22 long rifle here for each. I really want to compare these because you know, most people know what the quiets are. Few people know that they actually make a segmented version. The regular quiets, you know, they don't do much damage because it's only 710 feet per second, 40 grain bullet, brown nose. But the segmenteds are still 40 grain at 710 feet per second advertised. Forgive me, I'm trying to do everything one-handed here. And these, I think the regular quiets are just lead, but these have the copper wash on them, and there you can see the hollow point, but it's segmenting, so it breaks into like 3 pieces. These CBees here, 740 advertised velocity, and the weight on those are 33 grain. So these give you nice quiet offerings with a bullet that expands or segments, so you know you can actually do some damage with it. So there's those right there. You know, if I have to take care of something, raccoon, possum, something like that, I got chickens at home, they like to try to eat them in the middle of the night. You know, a regular 22 high velocity in the dead silence of night is actually pretty loud. So these are way subsonic. They are pretty quiet. They do not require any ear pro whatsoever. And then with the segmenting bullet or the hollow point there, the expanding hollow point, you actually get some damage instead of just a real pencil thin line through whatever you're shooting with those there. So that's why I'm putting them together here today. It's about the only 2 options I know for something like that. That is this slow, that is a long rifle, because of course you can get short hollow points and long hollow points, although they are very hard to come by. That said, these are pretty hard to find. You know, I buy most of my stuff online, but that's why we're putting them together. I don't know of anything else in the super quiet 700 feet per second neighborhood that has a bullet in it that really does any kind of damage except for these 2. So pitting them head to head together, get some chrono reads for you guys real quick, shoot them in the block, see what they do, get retained weight and expanded diameter and such. So this is Knox 10% ballistic gelatin. Pay no mind to that BB there. That was just a BB that dumped out when I was pouring it in the mold. I'll pull this other one out here for you. It has my actual BB calibration in it. And as always, I am temperature controlled when necessary, unless it's like freezing outside, then I don't worry about it. Now I'm going to use my Ruger 1022 here for the test today. It's just a factory stock 18-inch barrel. Now if you are expecting these to be quiet, you will absolutely have to use them out of a rifle. They are still loud out of a pistol because the pistol barrel is just way too short, so you still got unburnt powder coming out of a pistol going kablammy out the barrel. So rifle, if you want to be quiet, and this is an 18-inch, so they'll be even quieter out of a longer barrel. I'll go ahead and send a few of each over the Chrono for you. I'll do 5 of the CBees up first, and then I got 5 the quiet segmented under that, and they will not cycle a semi-automatic, so I'm gonna have to hand cycle them. And that is normal, by the way. They just do not have enough power to cycle the action on a semi-automatic. And I'm gonna go down here and shoot them without ears to show you that they are quiet, which if I can do it down here, especially because everything's louder down here because it echoes off of that concrete wall there. So if I don't need ears down here, you definitely don't need ears out in the field. So again, these are the CBees. .616. .688. .704. .652. 702. So now these will be the CCI quiet segmented. 5
591, those are a lot slower and they're a little bit quieter. .715, so that was louder and noticeably faster, and I felt more pushback from the rifle, so I guess that first one was kind of a dud. It shouldn't have been that slow. .640. Man, these are some duds. .299. And it made no freaking sound. They're supposed to be .710. Interesting. I usually don't have that problem. Usually they're very consistent. And I don't have, you know, they all sound the same. They all shoot the same. But that box has definitely got some duds in it. Unless it's my storage. I mean, I've had those for a few years, but they've been stored in a dry place with all the rest of my ammo, so I don't know. When I did a video with those years ago comparing all the CCI segmented offerings, because they got those, and then they got subsonic, and then they have high velocity, and then they have a hyper velocity. Check out the 22/rimfire playlist on the channel for that. But in that video I had no issue with them. And as you can see in the box, I only had 15 left, so I don't know if it's just from sitting or what. I mean, they still shouldn't do that, but the previous 35 that I had shot out of that box, no issues. But for some reason today, they were getting duds. .527. And that's it for those. And that was the other thing in that video I mentioned. You know, I had no problem getting them to expand and fragment like they're supposed to do. So yeah, like I said, I've never had that issue. I've shot quite a few boxes that look quiet, and they've always, I mean, there's an audible difference and a recoil difference. You don't have to have this chrono here to tell you that. I could tell the difference between the ones that were 500 and 700, because the 700 feet per second ones were noticeably louder, and I got a little more recoil. And then that 299 one, that was crazy. Like, I seriously thought I just had a misfire. Like, nothing happened until I heard it hit the bank over there, because the gun literally just went click, and then I heard it go in the back there, and I was like, oh shoot, the bullet came out. So yeah, I've never had an issue until today. That's interesting. So if you do try these, make sure they're shooting all the same before you expect them to segment, fragment, or whatever. Man, that I'm gonna put a few of those in the block now, because since we're getting all kinds of different velocities, to see if some of the weak ones still fragment or segment or whatever you want to call it, and compared to the others, I don't know. But anyways, that is not typical. I've never had that issue before. So let me get the block set up and we'll get started here and see what the heck happens. And there's a BB calibration today. I was a little worried on that one, but it came right in at 3.75, which is the maximum allowable to still be within spec. All right, we'll do the Remington CBee here first, and we'll take 2 shots. All right, interesting. So I did just put these in a previous video, a few videos back, as a little bonus footage. It was just a little extra at the end there. And both of those went about that far. We got about 7 inches, I think, mushroomed. And this one went way further because it did not mushroom. So interesting. So that one must have been a little slower velocity, most likely, and did not expand due to that. And even this one here, not looking like a lot of expansion. Let's put 2 more in there, and then we'll do the CCIs, because I got way better results in the previous video I mentioned, which was Should have been the video with the Remington Yellow Jacket versus the Viper versus the Golden Bullet. So if you want to catch that, check out the 22/Rimfire playlist. Or by the time this post, I might actually have a Rimfire gel test playlist started. So if you see that, it'll be in there. But let me take 2 more in here to see what kind of results we get from 2 more, because that's actually the worst performance I've seen from these so far. And I've put them into the block more than once on camera before today, but all right, let's see what we got here. And still, wow, still not looking great. That is interesting. Huh. So I guess I was getting lucky on the other. So I guess sometimes you get expansion. I mean, you see that one there. We'll pull it out and look, but you can see a little bit of expansion there. But like I said, that previous video, one expanded beautifully. The other one expanded pretty dang well as well. And we got 3 out of 4 here today. No expansion whatsoever. So let's come around the other side and see what the CCI do, which I'll try to keep track of whether we got, you know, what seems like regular velocity. I'll see if I can get the chrono down there for you guys, actually, just make sure I don't hit the dang thing. All right, CCI segmented quiet. Let's cross our fingers I don't hit the chrono. It should be all right though. I'll put 2 on the left, and then if I come in the center, I'll have to move the chrono. All right, that last one I didn't think we were going to get a read, because I had to kind of, from where I was at, I was shooting at an angle through the chronograph to put that in the middle. So no surprise there. That last one we got an error. So it didn't look like we got any of those 200 or 300 feet per second ones. Bunch of 500s it looked like. Did we hit 6 once, I think? But none of them touched that 700 mark. So let's see what we got. Wow. So let's see, I can't remember the order, you guys seen it, but only one of those, which may or may not have been the lowest velocity, did not split up like it's supposed to. So all the rest of them did. So I would say, based on these results, I mean, obviously you're going to get further penetration with the CBees if they do not expand like they're supposed to. And even if they do, again, I'm kind of a spoiler, but in the previous video where they did open up nicely, I was getting like 7 inches of penetration. So they'll still come in at 7 or more if they don't expand. But if they don't expand, I mean, you just get these little tiny zip, 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 not really doing any damage there, you know, kind of defeating the purpose of it being a hollow point. Because yeah, look at those. And compared to the ones that did mushroom, again, check out that video. You know, it actually did a little bit of a little disruption wound cavity in here from the expansion, and you're not getting with that with any of these because they did not expand. So yeah, you get, you know, at least 7 inches of penetration, but preferably, and for what they're designed to do, you get that expansion and get a bigger wound cavity up here in the first couple inches. Let's compare that to these. Now these, you can see, compared to that, massive wound cavities. Which, you know, I've seen 22 high velocity hollow points do way more than that, but these are, again, you know, they're 700 some feet per second advertised, and we're coming in way slower than that. So it's interesting, a lot of these came in 500 some feet per second, and they're still fragmenting and whatnot. So as far as doing more damage, you know, the penetration is of no concern. These are hands down the winner today. Only one of them did not. If these perform like they're supposed to, you have to check out that other video, but you get a little bit of, you know, wound cavity like that up here, and then they were penetrating to about 7 inches for me. So that's interesting. All that ammo is older, like I said, but only like 4, 5, 6 years old at most. So I wouldn't think that would be enough for them to go screwy haywire from just sitting around. It might, but I mean, I'm not sure. It shouldn't. It doesn't seem like my other stuff does. So
The CBees were in the same storage and the same age, and they all averaged way better.
maybe you have to get your own chronograph and test your own new lot of the stuff to see, but this is the results I'm getting today. Alright, so there's the bullets that did not expand. So obviously on the right there is your CB, on the left is the CCI quiet segmented. Over here, there's the one that of the CB that actually tried to expand. It expanded a little bit, but not great. Like I said, I've seen far better results than that previously. So, and there's the little, that's what peels off in the segment from the CCI quiet segmenting. And those pretty much just split like a banana peel down the center, so there's no core left to continue going. It just literally, the whole bullet splits into 3 or 4 pieces. I believe it's 3, but it might be 4. Now usually I get you guys an expanded diameter, but I'm not going to worry about it with that one little guy that didn't even perform there. If you want to see what the expansion is, you know, fully expanded, like I said, that previous video, I had the yellow jackets and the hornets and the golden bullet in it. Check that out. I did measure them in there. I got to get this thing to stay at 0 reloader scale. It's for measuring little granules of powder. It's windy out here, so the wind causes it to flicker some. So if it splits for the CCI there, come on, I gotta get this wind to stop. Maybe if I block it, it'll help. Trying to block it. Ah, jeez, freaking wind. I don't know if I'm gonna get any weights. This wind, let's try those. It seems to be going north currently, so let's reset it. Come on. Bloopers. We're zeroed out. 11.5, so 11 grains. That's what they split down to. So maybe it's 4, 3, I don't know. So here's the whole ones. CB 33.6. No doubt it's got some gel attached to it. And the CCI is supposed to be a 40 grain, 39.3. Everything I use to make my gel test videos and way more linked in the description. Little scale there, micrometer, caliber, even the ballistics gel I use, chronograph, way more linked in the description. And for things I cannot link to on YouTube, check out my campsite page, which is also linked in the description. For way more rimfire stuff, check out the 22/rimfire playlist on the channel. And for rimfire gel tests, if I have it up by the time this airs, check out the rimfire gel test playlist. But thanks for stopping by and checking this one out today, guys. I really appreciate it, and hope to catch you on the next one.